good morning everyone. My name is Muhammad Jalani. I am from class B, student of English Literature 2019. Today I will try to give review a little bit material on cultural theory that contained in chapter 11. The title is Culture as Text, Narrative and Hermeneutics. Today, it's commonplace to observe that culture or social life is a text and that it has to be interpreted for some perspective. However, this dictum is more axiomatic than for others. Although it is central to many forms of structuralism and post-structuralism, and attention to the story-like quality of social life is perhaps strongest in those theoretical approaches that are concerned with narrative and hermeneutics. In this chapter, we focus on this. We begin by introducing some theoretical tools for interpreting stories and genre frames. Structuralist poetic. In chapter, we explore the form of structural inquiry associated with the tradition that ran from Chaucer to Lévi-Strauss. That approach, as we saw, center on the analysis of the paradigmatic dimension of culture, and took as its central tool the analysis of binary opposition. When Lévi-Strauss looked at the Oedipus myth, for example, he had little interest in the story as the bearer of meaning. Rather, his primary concern was with the way that concept could be plucked out of the narrative to uncover an underlying structure. Another significant current in structuralism, however, has been concerned with the investigation of narrative and the way it is sustained by the sequential organization of science. Roland Barthes asserts that we need to study syntax as well as system, the paradigmatic, and instead about explaining how one particular story works. The critique of structural poetics. The approach of structural poetics, exampled by Propp and Frey, has a number of strong suits. From a sociological point of view, it offers powerful evidence for understanding narrative as a social fact, which are subject to laws and empirical regularity of which author and reader may be unaware. This allows for the possibility of constructing general theory and powerful analytical model with which to explore meaning in text. By demonstrating the presence of structure regularity driving meaning, such an approach also allows us to affirm the autonomy of culture. It points to the idea that can come from exploring character and archetypes. Example, hero, the fool, the villain, or types of story. Example like morality play, trickster story, the quest, which seems to have transcultural validity. This opens up important avenue for cross-cultural comparative research, especially in the fields of anthropology and folklore. Michael Bakhtin. Bakhtin's reputation centers around two main concepts of the dialogic and carnival. We can discuss the second term later in this chapter. The idea of dialogic taps into the creative and traditional aspect of the novel and was used by Bakhtin to critique Chaucerian approach to the symbolic. He dubbed such a perspective abstract objectivism, as it failed to take into account the ways that the meaning of work can change over time or vary according to the specific cultural context within which the reader was situated. According to Bakhtin, structuralist understanding could only support a fixed or monologic view of meaning which framed to the reader as a passive. Then Umberto Eco, the role of the reader. The work of the Italian semiotic Umberto Eco provides another avenue for exploring this question, offering a critique of orthodox structural poetics from within the camp. Eco is broadly sympathetic to the orthodox structuralist analysis of text, but tries to combine this with an attention to openness, ambiguity, and readerly. His perspective, then, it's both appreciative and critical. Eco begins by pointing out that the author has to assume that the ensemble of chords he relies upon is the same as that shared by his possible reader. The author has thus to foresee a possible reader. According to Eco, the chords and stylistic convention used in the text will not only identify and appeal to this model reader, but also serve to construct them by offering actual readers views as to how they should approach the text. Narrative and social process. For the most part of the analysis of narrative has been activity of literary theorists, interest in the study of text. The field has a lot to say about cultural content. With its robust and structural model, it provides a basis for theorizing the autonomy of cultural forms. It also has quite a bit to say about agency or in the reader and author. Yet, it has almost nothing to say about how narrative interacts with broader social life. There is, however, another more sociological literature on narrative. Last one is hermeneutic. There are strong affiliations between the hermeneutic tradition in social science and those advocating the centrality of narrative. Hermeneutic as an area is concerned with the issue of meaning and mutual understanding. Traditionally, it has tended to be subjective, humanistic, individualistic, aesthetic, philosophical, and phenomenological in orientation. In the context of literary criticism, for example, it has been centrally concerned with theorizing whether the reader can recover the meaning and the thoughts held by the author. Narrative story, by contrast, has tended to be more objectivist in orientation. As we have seen in the first part of this chapter, there is focus on the text, its form, structure, and social implication. I think that's all for today, and thank you very much.